In the practice of Japanese archery, there is a moment that separates the skilled from the exceptional. It's not the moment of drawing the bow. It's not the release. It's the moment after. The arrow has left the string. The result is already determined. There is nothing left to do, and yet the master archer does not relax, does not drop the bow, does not look away. For several seconds after the release, they hold the same posture, the same quality of attention as if the arrow is still in flight, as if the act is still happening. This sustained awareness is called Zanshin, and what it teaches has almost nothing to do with archery. Think about the last time you made a mistake at the very end of something. A presentation that went well right up until the final slide, which you rushed. An email you wrote carefully and then sent without rereading the last paragraph. A workout where you kept perfect form for 40 minutes, and then got injured on the last set. A conversation you navigated with patience, and then ended with one careless comment that undid everything. Or the more common version, the project that's 90% done and has been for weeks. The thing that only needs one more step, one final pass, one small push, and yet somehow never gets finished. These are not failures of effort. They are failures of Zanshin. Zanshin, pronounced Zanshin, is a concept from Japanese martial arts. The word breaks down as Zan, meaning remaining, and Shin, meaning mind or heart. Literally remaining mind, the awareness that persists after the action is complete. In archery, kyudo, the proper form after releasing the arrow, is called the yumi daoshi, the bow lowering. It happens slowly with intention, as the archer maintains full presence for several breaths after the shot. In kendo, the sword practitioner holds their position and awareness after the strike. In aikido, the practitioner remains centered and ready after redirecting an opponent. The purpose is not ceremony, it is training. Training the mind not to collapse once the difficult part appears to be over, not to exhale and disengage at the moment of completion. Because in practice and in life, the moment of completion is one of the most dangerous moments there is. There is something that psychologists call goal proximity effect. As people get closer to completing a goal, their attention and effort often decline, not increase. The finish line triggers a kind of premature relaxation. The mind begins to anticipate being done before being done. It starts releasing the tension that has been driving the effort. This is why marathon runners hit the wall, not in the middle of the race, but near the end. Why students make careless errors on the final questions of an exam. Why organizations that dominate an industry for decades often lose their edge. Precisely when they have nothing left to prove. The mind mistakes nearness for completion, and in that gap between near and actually done, things fall apart. It shows up in subtler ways too. The person who carefully prepares for a job interview and then answers the last two questions carelessly because they felt the momentum swinging in their favor. The cook who seasons a dish with precision for 40 minutes and then plates it without tasting. The developer who tests every feature thoroughly and ships without reading the release. Notes one final time. In each case, the failure isn't at the hard part. It's at the moment of perceived safety, the moment when the brain decides the threat is gone and permission to relax has been granted before it actually has. Zanshin is the antidote. Not more effort, more presence. The refusal to mentally finish before physically finishing. The martial arts framing of Zanshin is also about something deeper than performance. It is about vulnerability. In a sword fight, the moment after you strike is the moment you are most exposed. Your weight has shifted forward. Your guard has opened. If your opponent is still standing, you have no defense. This is why the warriors who survived were not simply those who struck hardest. They were those who maintained awareness after the strike, who did not assume that the danger was over because they had acted. The ones who relaxed too early did not get second chances to learn from the mistake. In the modern world, we rarely face opponents with swords, but the principle translates directly to anything where finishing matters. The surgeon who is most careful at the end of a procedure, not just the beginning. The negotiator who listens as carefully to the final terms as the opening offer. The writer who edits the last page as rigorously as the first. The athlete who treats the last 30 seconds like the first 30 seconds. These people are not simply disciplined. They have internalized something about where things actually go wrong, not at the hard part, at the moment when they thought the hard part was over. There is another dimension of Zanshin that goes beyond avoiding mistakes. It is about the quality of how you leave things. The Japanese have a strong cultural relationship with endings. with the manner in which things are completed. The tea ceremony does not end with the drinking of the tea. It continues through the careful cleaning of each utensil, the folding of the cloth, the final positioning of each object in the room. The closing is as deliberate as the opening. This is Zanshin in a different register. Not alertness to danger, but care extended to the very end of a thing. The awareness that the way something ends is part of what it was. Think about the people in your life who leave good impressions, who end meetings cleanly with clear next steps and a genuine close, who finish projects and then communicate clearly that they are finished, who end relationships, even difficult ones, with a kind of care for the closing. And think about the people who don't, who trail off, who leave things half done and move on, who let conversations end badly because they ran out of attention before they ran out of words. The ending is not separate from the thing. The ending is part of the thing. Zanshin understands this. There is a specific practice that many high performers use without knowing it, by name, that captures the spirit of Zanshin. Before completing any significant piece of work, before sending an email, before submitting a report, before leaving a room, they pause, deliberately, for just a moment. They look back at what they've done from the perspective of someone encountering it for the first time. They ask, is this actually finished? Not almost finished. Not good enough. Actually finished. This pause is brief. It costs almost nothing. But it catches an enormous proportion of the errors that happen in the gap between near done and done. It also changes the relationship between the person and their work. There is a quality of intentionality in a deliberate close that is absent from a trailing off. When you choose to end something, when you bring the same attention to the finish as you brought to the beginning, the thing becomes more fully yours. You have seen it through. There is also a version of Zanshin that applies not to tasks, but to relationships and moments. When a conversation ends well, it doesn't just stop. There is a moment of genuine close, a recognition that something has happened between two people, a small acknowledgement before parting. In Japanese culture, the ritual of farewell, the bowing, the waiting until the other person is truly gone reflects this. You don't simply stop engaging and walk away. You hold the space for a moment longer. You let the ending be an ending. This might seem excessive to people from cultures that end things abruptly, but there is something real that is lost when we don't close things properly. Conversations that end mid-thought. Relationships that dissolve without acknowledgement. Projects that simply stop without anyone marking that they are over. The lack of Zanshin in endings leaves a residue, a feeling that something wasn't complete, an unease that lingers, not because anything was wrong with what came before, but because there was no proper close. Practice Zanshin today in one small way. Before you send the next message you write, pause. Read it once more from the beginning, not to change it, just to see it whole. Then send it. Before you finish the next task on your list, stop just before you call it done. Ask, is there anything that belongs to this that I'm leaving undone? One small check, one final look. Before you leave the next conversation, notice, when the moment of ending arrives, don't rush past it, give it a breath. These are small things. They will not transform your life in a week, but over time, the habit of sustained attention, of not mentally leaving before physically leaving, accumulates into something, a quality of finish, a way of being known as someone who sees things through, not because you work harder than everyone else, but because you stay present one moment longer than most people do. The arrow has been released. The outcome is determined. And still the archer holds, not because the holding changes the arrow's flight, but because the holding is what the archer is made of. Follow for more ideas like this, the kind that are hiding in plain sight, already working in the people you most admire.